The Miami Dolphins are a sleeper team in the AFC, and I'm here to break down why they're a sleeper team. There were some questions with the Dolphins last year, and honestly, I think in the offseason, some of these questions are going to get fixed, and the one big question I think is not going to be a question anymore, and I think it's going to get fixed, and if this problem gets fixed, they are bound to be a sleeper team in the AFC this year. Before we get into it, drop a like and subscribe. We're on the road to 1K subscribers. We're getting closer and closer, and let me know what you guys think about the Dolphins going into this year, and let's get started. First off, let's talk about what happened to the Dolphins last year. The Dolphins last year went 9-8, and they were the 7th seed in the AFC, and honestly, they got close to almost beating the Bills in the first round of that wild card match. Now, the thing about that match was they had a backup quarterback, and it was Skylar Thompson. Now, why was that happening? Tua, their quarterback, was out with a concussion injury. Now, this is the big problem that I was talking about earlier. The concussions with Tua is a huge problem. Last year, Tua was on fire in the games that Tua played. He actually was a really good quarterback. Tua only played 13 games, and he still had 3,500 yards, 25 TDs, and only 8 interceptions, and a QBR of 68.8. Honestly, Tua was balling in games that he played, and this is where I see the potential in the Miami Dolphins. If Tua, which I believe that he's going to not have these concussion problems next year, this man is such a great quarterback. In my opinion, he's so underrated. In fantasy leagues, I'm grabbing him towards the end of drafts when he's still available. He is such an underrated quarterback, in my opinion, and everyone just thinks about his concussions. If these concussions aren't a problem next year, I truly see Tua being a really good quarterback next year. The only thing that sucks is if these concussions do happen next year, it's going to be a huge problem for the Dolphins, and they're probably going to have to move on from Tua just because like these injuries keep riling up, and I don't know if Tua can even take any more of these concussions because eventually it's going to have an effect on your brain area, and it's just not going to be good. But honestly, I truly see Tua being a really good quarterback next year if he's really healthy. I truly see it, and I'm really rooting for Tua next year. Now let's talk about those two receivers that really help out Tua. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, two amazing receivers, debatably the best wide receiver duo in the NFL currently. These guys are amazing. In my opinion, debatably, pretty much any other team, I would say Jalen Waddle would be a wide receiver 1 on, but now he has Tyreek Hill on the other side, so he can't be a wide receiver 1. He's a wide receiver 2, but he's basically a wide receiver 1. Last year, this duo was on fire. Tyreek Hill had 119 receptions, 1,700 yards, and 7 touchdowns. This man was on fire. He even had a couple of huge games. He had a ton of games where he had more than 150 yards. This man was on fire, and he was looking like he was unstoppable. He was second this year in receiving yards, and he even came out and said he has plans to go beat the all-time record in receiving yards. This man next year, I'm pretty certain he's going to eat, especially if Tua plays all the games, even though he was still balling in games when Tua was out. This duo is going to be unstoppable because Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill. And Jalen Waddle is a wide receiver 2 in this offense, and he still had 75 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle is still a beast in this offense, which is honestly really, really crazy to say. Also, did I mention that this duo is the fastest duo and the fastest wide receiver duo in the NFL? These guys are super, super fast. They can glide down the field in seconds. These guys are beasts, and these guys definitely help out Tua. This offense, this passing offense is truly amazing. This passing attack is truly amazing. It's really, really good, and this is a reason why I see the Dolphins being dark horses. This offense and passing offense is just really, really, really good. They also have one of the faster running backs in the NFL, Raheem Mostert, and they also have a great backup, Jeff Wilson. Those two as a pair is just a really, really great pair to have. One thing I could potentially see holding this team back is the O-line. They do have Armstead, which he is a great O-lineman. He's just starting to have a little bit of injury concerns now. Like currently, I'm pretty certain he's on the PUP list, but I could see the O-line potentially holding it back. But this team did go on a few win streaks with this O-line. I think they could potentially fight over it and still be okay, but this O-line is definitely one thing in the offense that could be definitely upgraded. Now let's get into the defense, because this defense did upgrade some things that needed to be upgraded. Like first off, the secondary. They got Jalen Ramsey for a bag of chips and a cookie. Basically, this trade was with the LA Rams. Oh my god. They, of course, traded a 3rd round pick and some random tight end named Hunter Long that I barely have ever heard anyone talk about ever. It is honestly crazy because honestly, trading for a top corner with stuff like this, that's pretty amazing stuff, I would have to say. I know the Rams were trying to dump people because of the cap space issues that they have with them going all in for the Super Bowl. But like I said, trading for a top tier corner like this when not giving up that much that's pretty good, I would say, and that's going to help your defense significantly. They also have some other really nice pieces on that secondary, such as Xavier Howard. I know he had a bit of a down year last year, but I feel like he can come back and rebound and come back and go back to being that old Xavier Howard. They also have Deshaun Elliott, which was a great safety, and they also have Javon Holland, which is another super underrated free safety in the NFL. Honestly, I have high expectations for this secondary next year. I honestly think it's going to be really good, and you're going to need a really good secondary when you're in a conference with Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, and just some all-around amazing weapons, and Jamar Chase and Devontae Adams. There's some insane guys out there in the AFC. They also have some pieces on the defensive line, such as Christian Wilkins and Bradley Chubb. Those are going to be some really, really nice pieces and some really interesting pieces that the Dolphins are going to need on this defense in order for this defense to be a really good defense. They also have Jerome Baker. I might have said that name wrong. I apologize. And they also have David Long Jr. They have some nice pieces on this defense. Also, Jalen Phillips. Honestly, in my opinion, they have a really nice defense. I would say the secondaries are going to be their strong suit next year, and that's going to be the really big thing on the defense next year, that secondary. But honestly, I really think they have a nice defense, and this defense is going to be able to help the Dolphins win some games. So now looking at the Dolphins schedule going into next year, I'm going to say to open the season, they're going to take a loss versus the Chargers, and then they're going to bounce back right away, taking wins to the Patriots and the Broncos, and then I think they're going to take a loss versus the Bills, and then week 5 and 6, I think they're going to win both those games versus the Giants and the Panthers. Week 7 versus the Eagles, I'm going to say they take a loss. Versus the Patriots, again, week 8, I say they're going to win, and they're going to sweep the Patriots this year. Week 9 versus the Kansas City Chiefs in London, I think it's going to be a really close game, but I'm going to give the Chiefs a little bit of an edge. Week 10, of course, they have their bye week. Week 11, easy money. That's a win for the Dolphins. Week 12, on the first Black Friday game ever, I'm going to have the Dolphins take a win here versus the Commanders, win. Tennessee, win. Versus the Jets, again, I'm going to say they take a loss here, and I'm going to say they beat the Dallas Cowboys in week 17, lose to the Baltimore Ravens, and beat the Buffalo Bills. So with that, I think the Miami Dolphins are going to have a record of 11-6 this year. I do not think that they're going to win the division, though, with the Jets, of course, how stacked they are now, and with the Buffalo Bills. I think they're going to be a wild card team in the AFC, though. I can't see them winning the division, like I said, with these two tough teams in there, but I definitely can see them being a wild card spot in the AFC this year. I'm really excited to see what the Dolphins offense does this year, and this whole Dolphins team. I think their offense is electric and exciting, and I'm really excited to see it. I also think the Dolphins might have a chance at winning a playoff game this year. I know they have that playoff drought for so many years. I think they have the second longest. I think they have potential to go ahead and break that. As long as they go ahead and get this 11-6 record or something better than that, I think they can go ahead, beat that playoff record, and go ahead and become something really great in the NFL. I really think they have potential to go ahead and break their playoff drought this year. I saw a tweet from Elite Take saying that he thinks the Seahawks have a potential dark horse candidate to be the #1 offense in the NFL this year, besides the obvious answers like the Chiefs and the Eagles. But you know what? He says the Seahawks. I'm honestly think that the Dolphins should be up there too. If Tua stays fully healthy, I think that this passing attack goes crazy between Jalen, Waddle, and Tyreek Hill, and they got some nice running backs. Honestly, I think they could potentially be the dark horses in the NFL to have the #1 offense. Of course, though, it relies on one thing in one man, and that involves Tua being healthy the whole year. And I honestly think, I fully believe that Tua is going to get over the injury hump, and he's going to be healthy this year, and he's going to lead the Miami Dolphins to great things. I'm really excited. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Like I said in the beginning of the video, we are on the road to 1K. We're getting closer and closer day by day, and you guys should totally watch these two videos right here. Great, amazing work by me, and I hope all of y'all have a nice day. I will see y'all in the next video.